searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Is gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Tea Talk with Nas. I'm Nasha. I'm very happy to be back here. Hello, Adam. Thank you so much for being back. We are very on time today. Yeah. Good evening. I assume you're also in the UK. Okay, so today is day 33. It's day 33 for this Tea Talk with Nas 60 days live challenge. I am trying to be calm. So for the past few days, I don't know, like I think I am still kind of affected by the environment, by everything, by the energy, even though I try not to pay any attention to any news. I try to stay away from, I try to be indoor basically and just focus on what I'm doing. But I think I don't know, like for anyone who are in the spiritual field, they will be talking about the 11th of November. Is a day that, how do you say it? Just like when the moon is moving, like it is a time of the month or of the year that we will start feeling very agitated, anxious, anxious, even though the election has gone, even though like it seems everything is function as usual, but we just can't help but feel a little bit agitated, you know what I mean? So I've been trying to practice different things. Like yesterday I tried to do a chanting a mantra with you guys. And then I think the energy or the frequency or whatever just got too much. And then I can't really share the mantra with you guys. And yesterday we talked about something different. We tried to discuss something different, but I just feel like I feel a little bit more agitated today. So I've been thinking, what can I do to keep myself calm besides meditation? I do meditate every day. And I think I should be grateful that I am doing meditation every day. Otherwise, I'll be a lot worse. So, and yeah, so today I want to find a different way to talk about how to keep us calm and in peace in this crazy world. And before we do that, thank you so much again for joining us, Adam S. Love Heart. I don't see your name. Yummy, yummy. Thank you so much. And everyone who are coming through to this space. So this is Phoenix Rising. My name is Nasha. You are watching the TeaTalk with Nas. I'm doing a 60 days life challenge, meaning every single day, doesn't matter weekdays or or weekends, I'm here. For now, it's going to be 9 p.m. I tried in the morning, the afternoon, and a different time. And for now, we tried 9 p.m. UK time, which is now, this time. So every single day, I'm going on live and I'm trying to explore different topic. Hello, and yes, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, I'm trying to explore different topics. Like we talk about spirituality, we talk about mindset, law of attraction, we talk about election, and yesterday we talked about online dating, or not only online dating, more like finding love in the time like this. How can we know that we're finding the true love? And today, sorry, for my YouTube viewer, my check again. It works better now. Okay, just one me a second. Thank you so much. So yeah, I've been trying to find a way that we can just find a way to be calmer. Besides mantra and besides meditation. Like I can't really do meditation on live because I think then it just like you looking at me, close my eyes and doing nothing or talking about things that you may not understand. So I that will be the last resort, okay? Guided meditation. That'll be the last thing that I will like to do with you. And again, thank you so much for joining us, San, Alista. Thank you so much. So today I want to try something different and we'll see how it goes. I mean, today's Sunday, we should all try to find a way, to reclaim ourselves and then to be ready for Monday tomorrow. For most people, tomorrow will be the day to, another week of working. So how can we find peace in a crazy world like this? How can we find peace in a crazy world like this? And I found a book that I think that is perfect for us. Okay. I mean for today or for a time like this, not only today, I think it's a book that we all should try to have a look. This book called, I don't know if you guys can see. Okay, it's mirrored. But anyway, this book, let me share with you. This book is called The Power of Now. The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment, is the author is Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle. He's a German now, live in Canada. Okay, so why do I want to share this book? Because when I'm reading into this book, it really like helped me to find the words that I want to share with you guys, or I want to remind myself, help me to find the words in English. So I really want to share this book with you, and then so I can really just let me do this again. I think I need to give up doing this sitting down. Give me a second. Thank you so much. Let me try this. Okay. Okay, does it work? Yes, no? Hello, angels. Thank you so much for joining. Let me try again. Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, because I do at the same time doing live on YouTube. So thank you so much, guys, for bearing with me. Hello, Patrick, Alistair, still here. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. That's a problem when I'm doing this by myself. Okay, tech, tech, tech. Okay, all good. Okay, I think I was still sitting down for let me do this. Okay, so this book is called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Sorry, by Eckhart Tolle. Okay, so why do I want to talk about this book? Because I feel that it really helped me to explain what I want to share with you guys, many concepts that I want to share with you guys in a really more plain language, in a plain English way, or at least in a way that I feel we can understand. And and then it is this book, the book of now, right? It really can help me when I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed because it is about being present. It is about being right here, right now, and not getting lost in worries or regrets. Okay, so this is what this book is about. And I want to share with you, I want to try the different method by, yes, I'm going to read this book. I'm going to read this book with you guys. And I hope I can use my like better voice to talk about it, my deeper, my deeper, so you can feel like how, what kind of, how do I say, I really find it enlightened me. You know what I mean? Like a lot of aha moment when I'm reading this book. So, like for example, right, when we are feeling our mind is like a runaway train, like always thinking or worrying and planning that we cannot really stop our mind. You cannot really fall asleep unless you are listening to white noise. You could white noise like you can't go to sleep unless you're listening to something. It doesn't matter, it's music, it's the sound of nature, the sound of wind, the sound of ocean. That means our mind, we can't really settle. We can really settle our mind. So after reading this book helped me to find words to share about what true peace and joy come from being present. Okay. So it's not so we are not lost in the thoughts in all of these things that's running around our mind. And it is also about quieting the mental chatter, quieting all this talking, all this noise, and really connecting with the stillness within. So I want to talk about this book. Okay, so that's why I want to introduce this book with you guys, and then hopefully, like we can all find a way. Okay, so hello, Sheen. Hello, Lucy. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, I can't, and I don't think I'm going to read the whole book with you guys unless I'm requested, unless there is a request about reading the whole book, then let me know. Okay, if there's a request about being a whole book, actually that will help me. I don't need to think about every day what I'm going to talk about in the life 60 days by myself. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm going to share with you the first chapter. Okay, I'm going to share with you the first chapter of this book, The Power of Now. The Power of Now. So this chapter, it introduced a core concept a core concept of the book, separating your true self from the incessant chatter of your mind. Okay, so Eckhart Tolle, he argues that most people are trapped. They are locked in a cycle of compulsive thinking, constantly dwelling on the past or worry about future. So this voice in the head creates a false sense of self and leading to anxiety, unhappiness, and depression, or even a disconnection from the present moment. That's actually how depressed people, how it become developed into depression. So talking about the power of now really will help us to understand more about ourselves, how our mind works. Okay, so there's some few key takeaways I want to share with you. And then I will go through some pages of this book. I'm not going to read the whole chapter 1 as well. So don't worry about it. But first of all, I want to share with you some of the takeaways. Okay. So first of all, the mind as a false identity. The mind as false identity. Okay. So Eckhart Tolle, he encourages us to become aware of our thoughts as mere mental events. Okay, our thoughts, they are just mental events. They are not identifying us who we are. Okay, our thoughts doesn't represent who we are. Sometimes it just happens. Okay, so that's one thing that he want to share with you. And second thing is that he talk about introduce a concept of pain body, the body in pain body. Okay, so he is saying, okay, the concept of the pain body, it is an accumulation of past emotional pain that can be triggered by present events. Okay, and then those triggers will lead to negative thoughts and emotions. Okay, so that's why we talk about a lot of people say inner child, trauma healing, what kind of trauma, the traumas about we don't even know from the past. We didn't realize that they were trauma because they may happen when we were very little in our younger age before we realize what's happening. Okay, so he wants to talk about those painful memories. They are like a different entity, a different unit to us. And then the third thing is he's trying to share with us about finding the observer. Okay, so Eckhart Tolle, he guides us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Okay, so I actually mentioned this a few days ago about removing ourselves from present and then from what happened. If something just happened, then you should just take yourself from that second, walk away and come back. So you allow yourself to see things from a third person's point of view, which means observer. Okay, a third party, a more objective angle. So when we are able to do this, when we are able to monitor our thoughts and our emotions without judgment, then we can create a space between the true selves and those mental chatter and those murmuring and those devils or whatever voice that's talking. Because the true self, the self that within us, they may not. I mean, all of this chatter doesn't represent us. Okay, I'm going to read some of the pages to share with you, to talk a little bit deeper about this idea. And then the last but not least is accessing the present moment. Okay, when we are able to aware of our thoughts, we are able to disengage from the mind's grip, and we are able to access the peace and stillness of the present moment. We are able to find a peace in whatever that's happening right now. Okay, so hello Emma, thank you, Cocoa, thank you, Mumi, thank you so much for joining. So I'm going to share with you the chapter 1 of the book, The Power of Now. That's written by Eckhart Tolle. Okay, The Power of Now. So the chapter 1 is called You Are Not Your Mind. You are not your mind. The greatest obstacle to enlightenment. So enlightenment, what is that? Okay. A beggar had been sitting by the side of a road for over 30 years. One day, a stranger walked by. Spare some change, mumbled the beggar, mechanically, holding out his old baseball cap. I have nothing to give you, said the stranger. Then he asked, What's that you're sitting on? Nothing, replied the beggar. Just an old box. I have been sitting on it for as long as I can remember. Even ever looked inside? Asked the stranger. No, said the beggar. What's the point? There's nothing in there. Have a look inside, insisted the stranger. The beggar managed to pry open the lid. With astonishment, disbelief, and elation, he saw that the box was filled with gold. I am the stranger who has nothing to give you, and who is telling you to look inside, not inside any box, as in the parable, but somewhere even closer, inside yourself. But I am not a beggar, I can hear you say. Those who have not found their true wealth, which is the radiant joy of being and the deep, unshakable peace that comes with it, are beggars, even if they are great material wealth. They are looking outside for scraps of pleasure, of fulfillment, for validation, security, or love, while they have a treasure within that not only includes all those things, but is infinitely greater than anything the world can offer. The word enlightenment conjures up the idea of some superhuman accomplishment, and the ego likes to keep it that way. But it is simply your natural state of felt oneness with being. It is a state of connections. It is a state of connectedness with something immeasurable and indestructible, something that almost paradoxically is essentially you and yet is much greater than you. It is finding your true nature beyond name and form. The inability to feel this connectedness gives rise to the illusion of separation from yourself and from the world around you. You then perceive yourself consciously or unconsciously as an isolated fragment. Fear arises, and conflict within and without becomes the norm. I love the Buddha's simple definition of enlightenment as the end of suffering. There is nothing superhuman in that, is there? Of course, as a definition, it is incomplete. It only tells you what enlightenment is not. No suffering. But what's left when there is no more suffering? The Buddha is silent on that. And his silence implies that you will have to find out for yourself. He uses a negative definition so that the mind cannot make it into something to believe in or into a superhuman accomplishment, a goal that is impossible for you to attain. Despite this precaution, The majority of Buddhists still believe that enlightenment is for the Buddha, not for them, at least not in this lifetime. Just for the bracket, That's only for some of the Buddhists. Okay, there are so many different disciplines of the Buddhists. I just want to talk about that a little bit. Some Buddhists, they do believe they can achieve the full enlightenment. That's actually what I am practicing myself. I want to become, to attain, to get and achieve full enlightenment. Okay, come back to the book. So that was the first few paragraphs of this chapter. And I want to share with you some of the chapter that I think is very important. Some of the paragraph of the first chapter. Feeling yourself from your mind. What exactly do you mean by watching the thinker? Okay, that's from the previous page. So it's from page, let me see. Okay, let me start from here. This incessant mental noise prevents you from finding that realm of inner stillness that is inseparable from being. It also creates a false mind-made self that casts a shadow of fear and suffering. We will look at all that in more detail later. The philosopher that the philosopher Descartes believed that he had found most fundamental truths when he made his famous statement, "I think, therefore I am." He had, in fact, given expression to the most basic error, to equate thinking with being and identity with thinking. The compulsive thinker, which means almost everyone lives in a state of apparent separateness in an insanely complex world of continuous problems and conflicts. A world that reflects the ever-increasing fragmental of the mind. Just bear with me a second. Okay, sorry. Enlightenment is a state of wholeness, of being at one and therefore at peace, at one with life in its manifested aspect, the world, as well as with your deepest self and life unmanifested, at one with being. Enlightenment is not only the end of suffering and of continuous conflict within and without, but also the end of the dreadful enslavement to incessant thinking. What an incredible liberation this is. Identification with your mind creates an opaque screen of concepts, labels, images, words, judgments, and definitions that blocks all true relationship. It comes between you and yourself, between you and your fellow man and woman, between you and nature, between you and God. It is this screen of thought that creates the illusion of separateness, the illusion that there is you and a totally separate other. You then forget the essential fact that underneath the level of physical appearance and separate forms, you are one with all that is. By forget, I mean that you can no longer feel this oneness as self-evident reality. You may believe it to be true, but you no longer know it to be true. A belief may be comforting only through your own experience. However, does it become liberating? Thinking has become a disease. Disease happens when things get out of balance. For example, there is nothing wrong with cells dividing and multiplying in the body. But when this process continues in disregard of the total organism, cells proliferate and we have disease. The mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. Thank you so much, Crowd Positive, for liking us. Thank you. To put it more accurately, it is not so much that you use your mind wrongly. You usually don't use it at all. It uses you. This is the disease. You believe that you are your mind. This is the delusion. The instrument has taken you over. I don't quite agree. It is true that I do a lot of aimless thinking like most people, but I can still choose to use my mind to get and accomplish things, and I do that all the time. Just because you can solve a crossword puzzle or build an atom bomb doesn't mean that you use your mind. Just as dogs love to chew bones, the mind loves to get its teeth into problems. That's why it does crossword puzzles and builds atom bombs. You have no interest in either. Let me ask you this. Can you be free of your mind whenever you want to? Have you found the off button? You mean stop thinking altogether? No, I can't, except maybe for a moment or two. Then the mind is using you. You are unconsciously identifying with it. So you don't even know that you are its slave. It's almost as if you were possessed without knowing it. And so you take the possessing entity to be yourself. The beginning of freedom is a realization that you are not the possessing entity, the thinker. Knowing this enables you to observe the entity. The moment you start watching the thinker, a higher level of consciousness becomes activated. You then begin to realize that there is a vast realm of intelligence beyond thought. That thought is only a tiny aspect of that intelligence. You also realize that all the things that truly matter, beauty, love, creativity, joy, inner peace, arise beyond the mind. You begin to awaken. Okay, that was very important, that paragraphs. I know many of you may not understand or even agree. Like, what do you mean? Like, I am the slave of my thoughts? So you need to continue to read. And I need to read that, and then we can talk about the following. Freeing yourself from your mind. That's still in the chapter 1. What exactly do you mean by watching the thinker? When someone goes to the doctor and says, I hear a voice in my head, he or she will most likely be sent to a psychiatrist. The fact is that in a very similar way, virtually everyone hears a voice or several voices in their head all the time. The involuntary thought processes that you don't realize you have the power to stop. Continuous monologues or dialogues. You have probably come across mad people in the street incessantly talking or muttering to themselves. Well, that's not much different from what you and all other normal people do, except that you don't do it out loud. The voice comments, speculates, judges, compares, complains, likes, dislikes, and so on. The voice isn't necessarily relevant to the situation you find yourself in at the time. It may be reviving the recent or distant past. or rehearsing or imagining possible future situations. Here it often imagines things going wrong and negative outcomes. This is called worry. Sometimes the soundtrack is accompanied by visual images or mental movies. Even if the voice is relevant to the situation at hand, it will it will interpret it in terms of the past. This is because the voice belongs to your conditioned mind, which is the result of all your past history as well as of the collective cultural mindset you inherited. So you see and judge the present through the eyes of the past and get a totally distorted view of it. It is not uncommon for the voice to be a person's own worst enemy. Many people live with a tormentor in their head that continuously attacks and punishes them and drains them of vital energy. It is the cause of untold misery and unhappiness, as well as of disease. The good news is that you can free yourself from your mind. This is the only true liberation. You can take the first step right now. Start listening to the voice in your head as often as you can. Pay particular attention to any repetitive thought patterns. Those old gramophone records that have been playing in your head perhaps for many years. This is what I mean by watching the thinker, which is another way of saying listening to the voice in your head, be there as the witnessing presence, witnessing our emotion. When you listen to that voice, listen to it impartially. That is to say, do not judge. Do not judge or condemn what you hear. For doing so would mean that the same voice has come in again through the back door. You will soon realize there is the voice, and here I am listening to it, watching it. This I am realization, this sense of your own presence is not a thought. It arises from beyond the mind. So when you listen to a thought, you are aware not only of the thought, but also of yourself as the witness of the thought. A new dimension of consciousness has come in. As you listen to the thought, you feel a conscious presence, your deeper self, behind or underneath the thought. As it were, the thought then loses its power over you and quickly subside. Because you are no longer energizing the mind through identification with it. This is the beginning of the end of involuntary and compulsive thinking. When the thought subsides, you experience a discontinuity in the mental stream, a gap of no mind. At first, the gaps will be short, a few seconds perhaps, but gradually they will become longer. When these gaps occur, you feel a certain stillness and peace inside you. This is the beginning of your natural state of felt oneness with being, which is usually obscured by the mind. With the practice, the sense of stillness and peace will deepen. In fact, there is no end to its depth. You will also feel a subtle emanation of joy arising from deep within, the joy of being. It is not a trance-like state, not at all. There's no loss or consciousness here. The opposite is the case. If the price of peace were a lowering of your consciousness, and the price of stillness a lack of vitality and oddness, then they would not be worth having. Okay? And why should we be addicted to thinking? Because you are identified with it, which means that you derive your sense of self from the content and activity of your mind because you believe that you would cease to be if you stop thinking. As you grow up, you form a mental image of who you are based on your personal and cultural conditioning. We may call this phantom self the ego. It consists of mind activity and can only be kept going through constant thinking. The term ego means different things to different people, but when I use it here, it means a false self created by unconscious identification with the mind. To the ego, the present moment hardly exists. Only past and future are considered important. This total reversal of the truth accounts for the fact that in the ego mode, mind is so dysfunctional. It is always concerned with keeping the past alive, because without it, who are you? It constantly projects itself into the future to ensure its continued survival and to seek some kind of release or fulfillment there. It says, one day when this, that, or the other happens, I'm going to be okay, happy, at peace. Even when the ego seems to be concerned with the present, it is not the present that it sees. It misperceives it completely because it looks at it through the eyes of the past, or it reduces the present to a means to an end that always lies in the mind projected future. Observe your mind, and you will see that this is how it works. The present moment holds the key to liberation, but you cannot find the present moment as long as you are your mind. I don't want to lose my ability to analyze and discriminate, and wouldn't mind learning to think more clearly in a more focused way, but I don't want to lose my mind. The gift of thought is the most precious thing we have. Without it, we would just be another species of animal. The predominance of mind is no more than a stage in the evolution of consciousness. We need to go on to the next stage now as a matter of urgency. Otherwise, we will be destroyed by the mind, which has grown into a monster. I will talk about that in more detail later. Thinking and consciousness are not synonyms. Thinking is only a small aspect of consciousness. Thought cannot exist without consciousness, but consciousness does not need thought. Enlightenment means rising above thought, not falling back to a level below thought, the level of an animal or a plant. In the enlightened state, you still use your thinking mind when needed, but in a much more focused and effective way than before. You use it mostly for practical purpose, but you are free from the involuntary internal dialogue. And there is inner stillness when you do use your mind, and particularly when a creative solution is needed. You oscillate every few minutes or so between thought and stillness, between mind and no mind. No mind is consciousness without thought. Only in that way is it possible to think creatively, because only in that way does thought have any real power. Thought alone, when it is no longer connected with the much vaster realm of consciousness, quickly becomes barren, insane, destructive. The mind is essentially a survival machine, attack and defense against other minds, gathering, storing, and analyzing information. This is what it is good at, but it is not at all creative. All true artists, whether they know it or not, create from a place of no mind. From inner stillness, the mind then gives form to the creative impulse or insight. Even the great scientists have reported that their creative breakthroughs came at a time of mental quietude. The surprising result of a nationwide inquiry among America's most eminent mathematicians, including Einstein, to find out their working method was that thinking plays only a subordinate part in the brief, decisive phase of the creative act itself. So I would say that the simple reason why the majority of scientists are not creative is not because they don't know how to think, but because they don't know how to stop thinking. It wasn't through the mind, through thinking, that the miracle that is life on earth or your body was created and is being sustained. There is clearly an intelligence at work that is far greater than the mind. How can a single human cell measuring 1 divided 1,000 of an inch in diameter contain instruction within its DNA that would fill 1,000 books of 600 pages each? The more we learn about the working of the body, the more we realize just how vast is the intelligence at work within and how little we know. When the mind reconnects with that, it becomes a most wonderful tool. It then serves something greater than itself. So, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? He's talking about we need to stop thinking. We need to stop being worried. We need to stop using the past experience and then to judge what's happening now, and then to stop worrying about the future. And I want to share just one last paragraph that I think is very important. Let me check. The beginning of freedom is the realization that you are not possessing entity, the thinker. Knowing this enables you to observe the entity. The moment you start watching the thinker, a higher level of consciousness becomes activated. You then begin to realize that there is a vast realm of intelligence beyond thought. That thought is only a tiny aspect of that intelligence. You also realize that all the things that truly matter, beauty, love, creativity, joy, inner peace, arise from beyond the mind. You begin to awaken. Okay. So that's what enlightenment is about. That's what awakening is about. It is about to understand that our thoughts doesn't represent us. Our thinking. That's what I realized after I started practicing Zen. Like when Christians call it sin, we are all born with sins. When Buddhists, when Hindus call it karma, they are all the same. They are just collective, accumulated past experience. Maybe we remember, or maybe we don't remember. Those experience, they are like cash in our phone. They are like cash in our phone. I'm just trying to explain to you in my own understanding. They're like cash in our phones, in our computer. Everything we do, we think, we say, they are all becoming cash, even though they work in the background. We may not see it, we may not realize it, but they are there. And then all of those cash, okay, they will affect how we work, how this phone works, how this laptop works, all this cash, right? So that's our karma, that's the sin, or that's the thinking, the thought that the Eckhart Tolle mentioned in his book. Okay, so we are talking about we are all programmed. Why can fortune teller tell you your destiny? Because you're programmed in a certain way, not by anyone, but by your own past experience, by your thinking, because those you allow your past experience create who you are now. You allow those past experience help you to make the option, to make the choice. So you're not acting from your heart, you're acting from your past experience. That means you're acting according to your sin, S-I-N, sins, or according to your karma, or according to the thoughts. So how can we get rid of, or how can we, being lifted, we call it lifted from our pre-programmed destiny? How can we find peace? How can we no longer affected by this cause and effect? So that's what Eckhart Tolle talking about it in a more academic way. Yeah, so it's a pretty academic book. And if you're not practicing any kind of practices, then you might find it's a bit difficult to understand to people who haven't started this journey. So I just want to say, like, from my point of view, from to simplify it, it's really just like imagine you're an account. Not imagine you're an account, right? So when you change your phone, you can bring your account to the next phone, right? You can bring everything to the next phone. And then when the next phone broke, you can bring everything to the next phone, right? So your account is your identity. And your phone is your human body. Or maybe you become different animals or different beings, but this is, this physical form that will break, that will be damaged, but your account, okay, will be taken to the next place. Okay, this is how it works. This is what we think how it works. So you can call the God, or being, or the universe, or the energy, however you want to call it. But that's how it works. And then first, who are not practicing, first, who are not religious, what can we do? What are we doing here? Why are we listening to this? Because you want to find peace, right? Because you want to find peace. You want to find a way that you can use a lot of this word in this chapter, stillness. You want to find a way that you are no longer agitated. I don't think anyone likes to be agitated. I don't think anyone likes to be anxious, angry all the time. And then the more you're angry, the more you are angry at yourself. Like, why am I being so angry? Why am I being so pissed off? Why am I saying this? I'm so annoyed with myself, but you still cannot help to react in a certain way. I was like that 10 years ago. You still cannot help to react a certain way because you couldn't find a way to get out of this cycle. And that's why you're listening to me now. Talking about all these things that you understand every single word or most of the words. And then, especially with my accent, and thank you so much for tolerating my accent. And actually, I have been some teeth issue in the past year. But anyway, thank you so much. But yeah, like you can understand most of the things. Like if I show you the book, you can see, oh, I understand every single word, but when I put them all together, I don't know if I truly understand. Let's find a different way to explain it. We are not our thoughts. Our thought doesn't define us. We are something higher than the thought, than our own thoughts. We exist behind the souls. Okay. Imagine like this, you are the sky. Imagine you are a sky and your souls are like the clouds passing through. They come and go, but the sky remains. So you're higher and bigger and more than just your souls. Because you find your souls are sometimes annoying, right? Why would you hate your own thoughts if you're your thoughts? Because you don't agree with your thoughts, right? How many times that you disagree with your own thoughts, right? And why will you disagree with your own thoughts if you think you are your thoughts? So it means you are actually different from your thoughts. And then Eckhart Tolle, he mentioned it. You can see it. You can witness it, right? You can witness it. You can see your own thoughts like, oh, I'm thinking this. Okay, like a different person because you're not your thoughts. You know what I mean? So Eckhart Tolle, he also talks about appreciating the simple things, like the taste of tea, the warmth of the sun, the sound of birds singing. And we're really paying attention to these little things. I feel so much more grounded. Like I knew a friend, her way to keep her calm is to go out to the park and hug the tree, be connected. And when she's doing that, she's feeling like calm and at peace. And all those thoughts will be away from her. And why do you feel more peaceful when you don't have these thoughts? Why do people practicing meditation? Why do people love sports, exercising, right? When you're exercising, when you're really doing sports properly, you don't really think, do you? You don't use your brain to think this is and that. You need to focus, right? If you're doing a marathon, you focus on your path. You just focus on the goal. You focus on the now, on the road. Nothing else, right? When you're a boxer, you're focusing on your opponent, on your own body. If you got distracted by your thoughts, then you'll lose, right? In any sports, it is the same. So why people say, oh, you should go to do the sports and everything. Why do people say, oh, it makes you happy when you're doing exercise? Because when you're moving your body, when you're properly moving your body, you don't use your brain. And does that mean you're not you at the time when you're not thinking? No, it's just another way to distract yourself from your thoughts. So you're feeling at peace. Yeah. Another of the quotes I really like, and another sentence is, he said, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. So it really reminds us to stop dwelling on the past or worry about the future and just being here right now. And if we're talking about time, there are a lot more people are studying time. Have you ever thought, how can I have a dream? In my dream, it's like a lifetime. Some people, they can dream of a lifetime and you're waking up from that dream of a lifetime and it's just few hours past. I have so many experience. I have dreamed about a few days of things happening and I woke up, it's only 20 minutes past. What is time? So don't worry about time. Don't worry about, oh, you don't have enough time to finish this in the future. My deadline is that. I know it's not easy because we all want We still need to work, right? We are not like monk or it's not like, oh, we can just get rid of everything and go into a temple and just be a monk and just do nothing, just focusing on chanting and then practicing to find a way to be enlightenment. We need to find a way to be enlightenment with this human form, with this lifetime. And how can we do that? Maybe we don't need to even worry about maybe we don't even need to worry about finding enlightenment. Maybe we don't even need to worry about finding enlightenment. Eckhart Tolle, he talks about this called the pain body. It's like carrying around a backpack full of old emotional hurts. And by becoming aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment, we can start to unpack that baggage and heal. We can just get rid of it. In Buddhism, there's a very popular sentence. We say, when you drop the knife, you will find enlightenment. You will achieve Buddhahood immediately. And that second, the action of let go, if you let mind drop, the action of let go, truly let go of your baggage, let go of your emotions. It is not easy, of course it is not easy. And that's why there are so many disciplines nowadays. That's why these so-called wellness fields are full of different people, different techniques, different methods are teaching you law of attraction, are teaching you about Reiki, energy healing. They're talking about trauma release, trauma healing. It's also a different way to help you to find a way to just let go of your baggage. In the end of the day, these are the same thing. They're all looking for the same thing. Stop being manipulated by our past. Stop being manipulated by our past. So if we are looking for less stress life, if you want to find more joy and deepen your spiritual connection, you can try to start by reading The Power of Now, written by Eckhart Tolle. Okay, so it's like a roadmap to a more mindful and feelingful life, even if you don't understand. I mean, seriously, how many books we have read since our childhood, and we may not understand when we're little, and then we will understand them one day. So going through this book, you may find something very, a lot of things that's different from what you know. A lot of things that's going to shaken your beliefs, right? From the first sentence already, right? From the first paragraph, from the first chapter, you're already told so many things that's not what we were told. We are all given these limited beliefs. And now we're learning to let go, we're learning to be freed. We are learning to find a way to be more joyful. And it is not like, oh yeah, of course you can do that, you have the money. I still need to worry about my pay, still need to worry about my rent, I still need to find money, and that's why I'm educated, because I have no money. Think differently. You will find the money will come to you. The abundance will come to you. Happiness will come to you when you can start living from the now. Okay. When you can start living from the present, like right now, then you will find you don't longer need to worry about money. You may not have a lot of money. You may not have billions of cash in the bank, but you'll find money will find their way to you. But of course, you still need to work hard. You still need to do what you're supposed to do, or continue to find your purpose in life, not just sitting here and then say, oh, then I will stop thinking. I just lay in bed doing nothing. No, okay. It doesn't work that way. You may think, oh, there's so many ways. What do I need to do more? How can I really, why is it getting more and more complicated? It is not complicated. It is really not complicated. When you understand the rule, when you understand the game, then you'll find it's very easy. You'll find that you're like becoming a child again. You'll find joy in everything. And it is just like until we reach that fully enlightenment state, then we just need to continue moving. We still need to keep walking towards the state, the happiness state. Yeah. So this is what I want to share with you by using this book, The Power of Now. I want to touch on something deeper, a lot deeper actually, from yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about dating and relationships, and today we're talking about this very, very, very deep thinking, very deep ideas. And I'm just experimenting different methods and trying to find out what's better, to find out what you like, what you want to hear. I need to know what you want to hear. So please do give me love hearts, give me roses, give me diamonds, or anything so you can tell me, so I know what you want to hear. I'm a gamer as well, so we can talk about game tomorrow or another time. But I need to know. Okay, I need to know what kind of conversation you like. Who are you? I need to know. So of course, if you have any questions, please do continue to fire away your questions. I know today we are kind of over time, and because I'm reading the book. Thank you again for tolerating my accent and my bad mouth, affected by my mouth problem. I'm trying to read as accurate as I can, but of course, it's better that you go to read this book, even if you are dyslexia. I need to say that every person I knew who are dyslexia, they are amazingly smart. They're amazingly intelligent. They're more true. They're actually connected to their inner self better than most of us. And that's why they're so intelligent. And that's from every single person I know who are dyslexia. So yeah, like sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel I'm the stupid one, and I am the stupid one. But anyway, thank you so much for allowing me to be with you for this second, for this moment. Reading this book also helped me to have a really good reflection about myself, about my own practice. So thank you very much for giving me this space. I will be doing this live for another, today is day 33. I will do this live for another 27 days. So every single day, 9 p.m. UK time for now, unless anyone requested for a different time. I'll continue to do this every day, 9 p.m. UK time. And yeah, please do let me know what kind of topic you want to talk about. If you have any questions, like yesterday, I answered some people about how to find love on online dating. When is the time to meet your online dates. Now is the time, okay? Don't don't wait. So yes, do treasure every moment, every present. Don't allow your past kidnap your now, and don't allow your future confuse your now. Okay? So I hope you all have an amazing day. Today's Sunday, and then I hope you all have an amazing coming week. I will see you tomorrow. Have a very good one. Bye bye.